depending on the parastatal you work, or shall I say the department in that parastatal, you will agree with me that an average person goes to work stressed just at the thought of work only and comes back home even more stressed. And they say remove the stressor, but you cannot remove work. We've got to eat, we've got to, fend for the family. So what do? That is what we're going to be discussing today, how to manage the stress that you face from workload. Are you a medical professional? I mean healthcare professional. The stress we face from workload, the stress we face from expectation from patients, from their relatives, from the managers, and of course, how to manage them. And of course, stress we face from our colleagues, because it's a kind of stress as well, and stress we face from our family. That's internal stressor that could affect work or affect productivity at work. Is this something you're interested in? Please stay tuned. Thank you. Right, when someone talks about stress, what do you think about? What's the definition that comes to your head? It's just your body's response to a pressure, to an uncomfortable situation, especially when you cannot find a solution to it, or you feel as though you're pressed for time and you need to find a solution to it. Now let's go quickly into these stressors and how we can best manage them. My name is Olubukola Akimolayo Obundele. I'm a vlogger, I'm a nurse, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm everything. So please stay tuned. I hope you pick a thing or two. Things like workload, target, expectation, fear of failure are the common causes of stress in our lives. And you begin to know you're stressed up when, even at the thought of work, you do not want to go to work, or you're at work and you're so touchy, or you're at work and you just feel as though you're tensed up all the time. And then the presentation can include headache, fatigue, unnecessary irritability to things, decreased productivity, to mention a few. Right, I will talk quickly about 7 ways that you can generally manage stress, whether at work or not at work. Then I will then streamline it quickly to work. First way to target any kind of stress you're going through is to have a to-do list. It sounds like a cliche, but it works. Organize your life where at the start of your shift, as an example, I would write down a list of things that I know that I'm expected to do by the end of the 12 hours or 13 hours shift, and then I tick my box as I get on. Sometimes I write it on my work notes, my phone notes I mean to say. Sometimes I write it on my handover paperwork. So things that are urgent, things that has to be completed before the end of that shift, and I try to tick them as I go on, and of course I try to prioritize them. Another way to be organized during the day is to give yourself deadline. Our goals have to be smart always, they have to be measurable always, they have to be accurate always, they have to be realistic always, and they have to have a time bound always. So once you're smart with your goal setting, you will not be disappointed. Well, ideally you shouldn't be disappointed. Another way to make sure you're organized at work, and I'm even talking to myself right now, or in life generally, is to release control. Sometimes I, for one, like to hold control back to myself, and for that reason I want to do it all. When I can always call for help, when I can always delegate tasks. So learn how to delegate tasks, learn how to call for help when needed, and of course learn how to follow up the tasks that you've delegated. That way you feel as, okay, yes, I've released power or released control, so to say, but then I still know what's going on. Because I think the fear with releasing control is you're thinking, what if they do not do it well like I would do it? So if you then begin to follow up, whether or not that would help you to relax, just to check that they're doing it right. And if they're not doing it right, you have to, in a constructive way, show them how you'd rather do it, or help them with a theory, help them with anything that can guide them to doing it well. So that's the first thing quickly. The second thing quickly to do when we're feeling stressed is to exercise. Now, when we speak about exercise, especially to me, what I think about is go to the gym. I pay for the gym £24.99 every month, and I do not go. So no, it's not about that. I even need to cancel that subscription. Even things like mindfulness is a kind of exercise. I don't know if it's the same where you work, where there are posters everywhere now about mindfulness. Just consciously breathing in and out, taking a stop, taking a pause, breathe in, breathe out, just read all those things about mindfulness. It may just be a 30 to 60-second exercise. It could be yoga when you have a minute. It could be you watching, exercising on YouTube and doing what they are doing. The 3 things to say is to be healthy, to eat healthy. That one too sounds like a cliche. I am guilty. Reason being that there are some times when or where you're so stressed up, and the sugary food and the fatty food are the ones that entice you at that point in time. You crave them so badly, you want to have them so badly. They help you calm down, and that is why I, for one, you wouldn't know when I'm stressed up, because that's when I even get fatter. A note to me and to everybody watching that is like me, that gets stressed up and eats too much, is let's try to eat healthy. Now in my office there is a corner where I just put healthy things, snack bars that are healthy, protein bars. I put them there even though I know, okay, I don't need them now, but I'll leave them there for days that I need them, instead of going to get something fatty from the restaurant. The 4th way that you can help with stress, irrespective of the kind of stress, is to please sleep. At least 6 to 8 hours sleep. I mean, this can be a bit controversial, because I have read so many motivational speakers or listened to them say that people that want to make it, or people that do well in life, do not sleep for more than 4 to 5 hours. But at the same time, you're stressed up and you're thinking, I need my sleep. Right, whether it is 5 hours because of childcare problems, or it is 6 hours, or it's 8 hours, make sure when it is time to sleep, your sleeping condition allows for sleep. Not us planning to sleep and that is us pressing the phone at the same time. I want to check the latest trend on TikTok before I go to bed, so we can do it in the morning. Number 1, have a dark room, have a conducive room where you leave your phone aside. Do not take food upstairs, do not take your laptop upstairs or anything that would arouse you, and try to sleep. Let us try to sleep. Remember, I'm talking to myself as well. Let's try to sleep at times that are about the same. Like, what I mean is like same time every night. So wake up about the same time every night. Your phone, like an iPhone, helps you to do that, where it asks you to set a time to sleep and it gives you a reminder that it's bedtime and all of that. That really helps as well in taking away that stress from your body. The number 5 thing to do is avoid being a perfectionist. This applies to me, applies to so many of you watching. We like to do things in a perfect way, so that we sit down. I particularly sit down thinking about the action so much. I've perfected it in my brain. When I'm wasting time, number 1, I'm getting stressed up, and number 3, when I am given a task and I want to set to do it, I want to make it perfect. By so doing, I'm stressed, trying to get it done perfectly, and I do not move on to the next thing. I am in that denial of it's not good yet and all of that. That can stress us up badly. Another thing that helps is when we do a positive reflection, which is the 6th point to make quickly. Yes, it may look as though it's been a bad day, but when you get home and you sit down and you think about it again, number 1, you're reflecting. You're doing the Gibbs cycle of reflection. You tend to pick up things you should have done better or you could have done better, and of course you find a way to do it better should it happen again. But in between, you'd actually find 1 or 2 things that you did right. Positive reflection helps very well in making sure that you do not beat yourself up and you're not stressed up about matters that happen in your home, that happen at work, and so on. Last but not the least, because I want to go into the nitty-gritty, is to learn to say no. At work, at home, when it's not convenient for you, say no. Learn to say no without feeling bad. You're just saying no because it's not convenient. We all know that you say yes, if it was. Then please say no and say it conveniently to make sure you do not feel stressed up about the no you've said. So thank you so much. That's the first chunk I'd like to get out of the way about how to, or 7 ways to reduce stress in every sphere of our lives, in summary. Now I'll go into the nitty-gritty of how you can manage stress with the workload that you're being given. Now, I would always mention on the ward, as a patient, with a nurse, blah blah blah, because I'm a nurse. So if you're not a healthcare professional and what I'm saying doesn't relate to you, just try to lift my sentence and lift it into your own